Go Jack Rabbit running through the woods. You had a good night and you feel real loose. Heard they got you going around the Goose Creek shed, trying to fill your belly full of buckshot lead. Go Jack a Rabbit to the cabbage patch, from the left the back porch going to left. Heard you coming and you got his gun. Better go Jack Rabbit, better start to run. Go Jack Rabbit, running through the woods. Had a good night and you feel real loose. Gunfire breaking up that peaceful night. Jack Rabbit running in the pale moonlight. And now it's time for Rabbits Running.
Willa, suppose you could take that electrical bell ringing business outside. You are distracting your father.
Okay, I might see one of those rabbits.
You and your rabbits. Keep an eye out for Uncle Henry. He's going to pay us a visit and help out with the memorial.
Uncle Henry, my favorite uncle.
He's your only uncle.
He's the first one who read me the story of Peter Rabbit.
Your mother never read you the story of Peter Rabbit?
No, Uncle Henry read me the story sitting right there in front of the fire. I don't understand why Mr. McGregor so much wanted to shoot Peter Rabbit.
Look here, son. You can love rabbits all you want. But let's be clear. We shoot rabbits because they eat our lettuce.
Just for lettuce?
We hunt quail because it's good food. We shoot crows because they go after our neighbor's corn. It's called protection.
All over a bite of lettuce?
Willem, farmers, peasants, they spend their lives planting vegetables in the hot sun. They're not growing lettuce to feed wild animals.
I know, but I like to see rabbits eating lettuce. They look so happy. You know why they have such big ears?
Why do you think?
To hear Mr. McGregor coming with his gun. Their ears, they know danger. They can hear danger.
Well, I like the way you have observed our animals. Willem, we've got our own nature biologist right here at Stouts Lodge.
And electrician.
Dad, I just picked up a fellow whose truck broke down on his way in from town. He's here to do a job over at Miss Parsons. Needs a place to hang out until AAA gets here.
Where is he now?
He's in my car. He's an electrician from the city.
We'll bring him in. Maybe he can fix this outdoor light that's on the blink.
I thought we could at least let him use our phone.
Well, sure. You don't have to ask me for permission to help out a skilled tradesman. It's about time Miss Parsons started taking care of that place of hers.
He's here to fix, what do you call it? A transformer, transfusion box, something like that.
Well, don't sit on your hands. Bring him in. He can use the phone in my study if he wants.
He says his truck's been on its last leg a long time.
Yeah, small wonder. Northeast Electric's on the verge of bankruptcy.
His name is Ming Ling. He just immigrated from Taiwan.
Ming? Chinese, then.
That's his name, first name.
You get on a first-name basis very easily, Diana.
It's called modern speech, Dad.
Well, I suppose he knows his trade. Why doesn't he just go over and start the job at Miss Parsons?
Oh, his car is a mile down the road. I thought we could help him. He says people in the boonies don't like strangers like him poking around.
Well, the company never should have sent
Miss
him out
Parsons
here.
said she never liked me poking around. Said I should respect her no trespassing signs.
Show him to the kitchen door, Diana. He can use the phone in there.
Dad, I have my speech ready.
Is this what you're going to read at your mother's memorial?
Yep. I can't believe it's been a whole year.
1 year this Friday.
The worstest year ever, Dad.
We all miss her.
I'm glad Uncle Henry will be there. He's my favorite uncle. Dear Mother, you went away without a chance for me to say goodbye.
Willa.
Goodbye. I would have liked to have said goodbye. Dad thought it
Don't
might be too
forget,
much
the
for me.
applicant for housekeeper
He
will be here at
didn't
3
know it
o'clock.
would have been our last chance for us to look at each other.
That's 15
or to
minutes.
smile. Or
I'm
to
about
embrace
give up
each
on the
other.
idea.
He didn't
Last two
know.
candidates wouldn't have lasted a week.
Well, maybe you could lighten up on your interview style, Dad.
Lighten up.
You don't need to tell a person that you like your eggs cooked sunny side up and your socks folded inside of another in the drawer. And a 10-minute timer before every meal. You sound like a general in the army.
They have to understand what's expected, Diana, otherwise they'll never measure up.
In today's
It's
world,
how I ran my business. It's what works.
Mother spoiled you. She did.
You know what? I'm going down to the pond.
Can I go with you?
Come along. Bring your speech. We'll read it on the bench by the water.
Triple A can't get out of here until tomorrow.
Oh, well, where will you spend the night?
I can sleep in my truck. Safer that way. Don't want to be any bother.
Oh, that is not necessary. We have beds upstairs. Miss Parsons has a whole house full of extra beds, and you need to sleep in your car. Go figure.
I never expected a lot of the fair play in this world. Got to roll with the punches.
Well, when my father gets home, I'll talk to him.
I will be going over there. Got to meet Miss Parsons.
Oh, Mother. Keeping this place going is like putting up a straw man in a raging storm. You painted me into a corner, you know. Yes, you did. You laid there on your divan, departing life so sweetly, like it was just a change of the weather.
I didn't want to trouble anyone.
All you said was, take care of your father, take care of Dad. Couldn't you two have figured out this phase of life a bit sooner?
I had no warnings.
There are special homes, living caregivers. Why me?
It would go better if you had a partner.
A partner? Who is going to want to court an aging woman with an aging father? Life has done me no favors.
A teacher in your school, perhaps.
We do have one unmarried male teacher, and he's an African American. Could I bring him home to meet Dad? I can hear the explosion shake the rafters. It would bring down the house.
Is it true you're planning a memorial for me?
We are.
I don't know what people will say that didn't get said when I died.
Well, sometimes the memories become sharper. Like with Lassie. Do you remember how he would jump over that hedge every time a squirrel would come into the yard?
And trample the petunias.
Yes. Friday will bring back some of those memories. Oh, and how you used to imitate the geese every time they'd fly over the house. Honk, honk, honk. Oh my.
No doubt your Uncle Henry will be there. He and your father have had a number of imbroglios over the future of the property.
Granddad should never have written the will that way.
And why not? If two brothers can't see eye to eye and share 50-50, well, then this world is in a hell of a fix.
Look at the fallout. Dad can't make any improvements around here without Uncle Henry's permission, and he is tight as a spitball. Dad wanted to have the roof replaced after 50 years, and Uncle Henry, he wouldn't chip in a dime.
Growing up, I was Henry's playmate. I think it was hard for him to see his older brother take over the reins.
Really? So Uncle Henry has been stewing over that all these years.
Yes, it surprised us all when it prompted him to join the Cistercian brothers. Oh, there we couldn't even speak to him without an appointment.
What other family secrets are floating about?
Well, you should know.
I should.
Yes, you did all that research on your great-grandfather and the slaves he kept to maintain the cotton fields. You were so incensed, you decided to join the AmeriCorps in the deep, deep South, calling for better labor laws. Do you remember? Oh, you were lucky to get out of there alive.
I had my eyes opened for the first time. The social standing of the Craddock family, my
You had-
education.
You had us all scared to death. Oh, who is that man over there?
Oh, that's me. He's doing some work over at Miss Parsons.
Do I know him?
I doubt it. He just immigrated from Taiwan.
Oh, your father has never been keen on immigrants.
That's an understatement.
Hello, I'm early.
Hello, you must be Roxanne.
Just call me Roxy. Best of friends call me Roxy.
Hi, Roxy. Thank you for your resume. It was very detailed. Please have a seat.
Nice place you have here. It's quite remote. The taxi man said it was at the limit of his range.
My father wanted to move here when my mother died. The comforts of history, he said. Home has been in our family almost 100 years.
I think I can smell the years. Old wood kind of smell. That gun up there looks like an antique.
Oh yes, the musket. Civil War vintage. Roxy, your resume doesn't indicate that you have experience with the elderly.
Oh, I do love them. God bless them, the old people. They're so settled and so happy with where they are in life. No, I know not all of them. Those with shorter breath and artificial limbs and knee transplants and all. But if your father is a hunter, I'll make sure he's got warm clothes and he don't do nothing foolish.
Well, we wouldn't be asking you to go with him when he hunts, Roxy. You would be here in the lodge, the house, tidying up and taking care of the kitchen and all of the cooking. Your last references said you were an exceptional chef.
Well, they were being nice. I do like to cook for the elderly. They're so appreciative. You know, nothing too spicy, mind you. Soups are always around.
Well, my dad is still quite young, knock on wood. He does like soups. Roxy, do you ever cook any wild game? Quail, rabbits?
Now you're kidding with me, Miss Craddock. You must have a good sense of humor, and I like that. But rabbits are for Easter. It's wild animals I'd be scared of.
Well, we do have raccoons. They mostly prowl around here at night.
Are they dangerous?
They're mostly interested in the garbage.
Well, I know just the thing. I'll get me some jalapeno peppers, and I bet that's the last those raccoons will be bothering you.
Roxy, you would also be cooking for my brother Willem.
How old is Willem?
He's 27, struggling to be sensible.
Sensible is good, Miss Craddock.
He would eat anything you cook. You needn't worry. My father, when he hunts, he likes to eat what he shoots, birds and the like. He may ask you to pluck the feathers.
Well, I suppose I could learn that.
Okay. Well, Roxy, I think we could get along. I do worry that you may not enjoy this country living. People from the city don't generally like the quiet.
My last employer, She said I was the most adapting person she ever knew. She had 2 Pekingese, and they would jump all over the furniture. Chairs, the couch, the dining room table. And if I went to read a book, they'd jump on my lap. And they had to be fed shank of lamb with a little bit of kibble at every supper time. Fresh lamb, cooked of course. I was forever catering to those dogs. It don't seem fair, does it? Half the world's starving for food, and we're jumping through hoops to feed the dogs.
Well, our dogs, they stay out in the kennel. Bernardo is responsible for them.
Bernardo.
Oh yes, Bernardo. He takes care of this place. He cuts the firewood, trims the hedges, and rakes the litter. We get a lot of litter here, especially in the fall. The leaves come down like it's snowing.
So I see. Me and Bernardo would be a team to make sure your dad slides into his elder years with proper dignity.
Some patience and adaptability would be essential. See, my father changes his mind a lot.
My last employer, she told me I was too flexible. Shouldn't be getting so close to her husband. Like fussing over him when his shirt tail's hanging out, or bringing him Ovaltine in bed.
I can see some problems with that, Roxy. Well, Dad's name is Ike. He'll be home any minute, so come. Let me show you to the kitchen, and that would be your domain. Come.
Diana. Diana.
Like I was saying, with a few small changes, glad to work in such a fine space as this. Oh my God!
Oh my goodness, Diana. Dad, this is Roxanne McDougal. She answered our ad for housekeeper.
Yes, you told me. You know, I think the hammer on this thing is loose.
Dad, she just came right out from town. I didn't have time to explain your fascination with that musket.
Oh. This musket was given to me on my retirement. 40 years in the armaments industry. Worked my way up from stock boy to vice president of advanced technology. We were getting into drones when I retired. I hope I didn't scare you, Miss McDougal.
Just call me Roxy.
Oh, nice to meet you, Roxy. So you're out from the city then?
Yes, sir. As much as I'd like to be living in such a quiet space as this, why, even the silence talks.
How would you be getting yourself back and forth to work? We have a car?
No, sir. Public transportation. Gives me a chance to read my mysteries and my cookbooks.
Dad, Roxy has great references, especially her cooking. I showed her about the kitchen, and she seems to know just how to get everything where she thinks she can use it.
Change things around, would you? Renovate?
No, sir. I just like to see all the pots and pans, griddles and ladles, spatulas and whisks, everything a cook might need, have 'em right handy.
Did you like what you saw?
Well, some of it is a little old-fashioned, if that's what you like. The old percolating coffee machines are not used much anymore, and I didn't see any of those non-stick griddles they use these days.
Diana may have told you, my wife died a year ago. Was sick for a couple of years. That set us back some.
Oh, I am sorry to be hearing that. And life goes marching on.
And on.
Setting the table can be important to make everyone feel comfortable. Like flatware. I would like to replace some of those forks I've seen. those bent forks I've seen. and I'm not sure your soup spoons are adequate size-wise. I do like to create healthy soups, especially for those on the upper scale of the age achievement.
Age achievement. That's a good one. Well, it seems like you have some high expectations if you were to take this job, Roxy.
I just start with the basics. Stove with enough burners, pots and pans hanging where a cook don't have to bend for them. Bending is not good for the back.
You're setting a pretty high bar, Roxy. I'm not sure it's appropriate for our down-home family.
Down home, Dad. When Mother was alive, you traveled the world. You've testified before Congress. He's been in kitchens and dining rooms fit for a queen.
My daughter has her own views.
Roxy, would you be comfortable on your own in the kitchen if you weren't invited around the dinner table?
You mean eat by myself?
Yes.
Well, that's the first thing they teach you in cooking school. Keep your place. My socializing will be done on my own time. Don't you have a caretaker? He would need to eat.
Yes, Bernardo. He has his own bungalow down the way.
Well, I'm sure we'll get along fabulously. I cook for all kinds of folks. Disabled vets, vegetarians, paraplegics.
Do you have any recipes or cookbooks that would help you decide what to bring to the table?
Yes, I take hints from Martha Stewart and even some actresses. Those that are good cooks. Paltrow, what's her name?
Gwyneth.
Yes. She was so funny in that Shakespeare movie. And now she's got her own cookbook. But it might be a little high-end gastromaniacally for you, what you want.
Dad is a meat and potatoes kind of guy. Game birds thrown
Now,
in,
wait a
of course,
minute.
but
Meat and potatoes. I happen to like pasta dishes. I know some French restaurants in New York that make a donkey drool. I like crepes and so forth.
donkeys, Dad.
When I was young, I took trains of donkeys, 5 donkeys to a team across the Sierra Mountains. I know my donkeys. Well, Diane, I don't see anything wrong at all with a little French cuisine. It's all in the sauces, they say.
Roxy, you don't have to put on the dog when you're cooking for this family.
Oh, don't worry. Dogs won't find their way into my cooking. Mr. Craddock is right. It's the sauces that count. A perfect marriage with the main dish. That's what I try for.
That suits me fine. Nothing too spicy, gives me heartburn.
Yes. And you'll need to be watching your weight, Mr. Craddock, as you add on the years. There's a lot of cream in those rich foods. No, we'll keep the calories low. But I do like to make pies.
Oh.
Keep the crust thin. Huckleberry pie. That's my speciality.
Oh, I think Roxy could spoil you, Dad. If we were to offer you the position,
Wait,
Roxy,
whoa, stop. Roxy, how are you with cleaning, making beds, that sort of thing?
Cooking, give me a mop, give me a broom. I'll have that surface shining up at you like a mirror. Now, making beds, that's hard work. Now, the lifting and all. And hospital corners have gone out of style, but I still like a good hospital corner to tighten up the bed sheets and blankets.
Well, listen, we're no Ritz-Carlton, but there's nothing like coming home and seeing a bed all made up and ready. Maybe you could show Willem here a trick or two. He's got a sign on his door, disaster zone. Roxy, this is my son Willem.
Pleased to meet you, Willem. When I get a little time, maybe I could give you some tips on tidying up. It's coming into fashion, you know.
I'm a good learner.
Dad, the job description did not include looking after Willem. You can't just pile on job responsibilities. You're not hiring a girl Friday.
Oh, I'm hardly a girl no more. Keep to your specialities. That's what I learned in cooking and housekeeping.
What do you say?
Well, I'll leave it up to you. You know what we need.
You just take your good time to make a decision. I'm sure you have other good candidates. You'll never hear me talking bad about this job, because I believe in bringing forth any dissettlements right forward in person. So I'll leave you now, and I hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you, Roxy.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, Roxy.
I'll have Bernardo drive you to the bus stop.
Well, she's not like me, but I guess we can't expect that. Still, hospital corners, that would be novel.
You like her. I am so glad you're open to a new personality around here, Dad.
Well, she's not like those other persnickety ones. Let's agree to a 3-month trial and see if these lips don't make Roxy think twice.
I think she should start right away. She could help us with the memorial.
Seems a little soon. And did you mention pay?
Yes, Dad, it was in the advertisement with 2 days off and a month of vacation.
Oh, goody. Ming's here. I met him on the road. Mr. Ming, this is my father, Ike.
Mr. Pratt.
Mr. Ming thinks I should go to mechanic school.
Yes, I do, folks. As much as Willen here knows about electronic sockets and energy currents, he would be light years ahead of other trainees.
I'm sure a person would need a high school education to make their way in that field.
No necessary. There is a lot to be learned as an apprentice. I wish I had a good one. Now, I'm in a fix. AAA says they can't get out of here until tomorrow. So, I will be sleeping in my truck if the police don't come by.
Company can't send somebody out to get you?
Employees at a company are off on another job.
Have any family could come get you?
It's a long trip out of here, Mr. Braddock. Not the first time I slept in my truck. I will see you in the morning.
I want to walk Ming to his truck. Like, keep him company.
Dad, why can't we offer him a room upstairs?
We're not a hotel. He must be used to these inconveniences.
You used to have your Bremerton executives over to spend the night all the time.
Ming is a stranger. Might wake up in the morning and all our heirlooms would be gone.
Heirlooms? That musket?
Strangers just make me uncomfortable.
I am at my wit's end.
What? How so?
With you.
Me?
You treat this family circle like it's some crown jewel. Don't let anyone else in. You treat Willem like he's a freak of nature. There was a time when you were his friend. And now you have no patience for his electrical interests. When was the last time you put your hand on his shoulder?
Why can't the kid make his own bed, chop some firewood, lift a hand around here?
Would it be so difficult for you to do those things together with him? Why do you have to hold him at arm's length? You treat him like an employee.
Employee? You know what I've done for that boy? Speech lessons, summer camp, sports equipment.
Dad, I know you love Willem, but you don't have to treat him like a child.
If only your mother were here, she'd understand.
But she's not. Maybe you need to bring something of her compassion into Willem's life.
His abilities, his intelligence are all compromised. All the doctors say that. We can't expect him to behave in a normal way. Now I've got to call a caterer for some kind of cake. We can't expect Roxy to cover that base.
Dad, wait. We need to go over the guest list for Mom's memorial.
Guests? Isn't this a family event?
Uncle Henry will be coming, and Miss Parsons, friend of umpteen years. And there is a teacher from my school I'd like to have present. He knew Mom, a fellow teacher in 5th grade.
This memorial is for family and friends of your mother. Miss Parsons, sure.
Trevor is my friend. We teach together. He knew Mom. They collected and discussed antiques. Antiquarians, I think they're called.
Antiquarians. Damn, Diana, does that make him a family friend?
He's my friend, and I know Mom would want him at her funeral.
We've already brought Roxy into our family circle. Before you know it, we'll have the United Nations standing in our door. Roxy's probably a Kazakhstanian.
Hey, Uncle Henry is here!
Hello, dear family!
Uncle Henry, my favorite uncle!
And you, Willem, my favorite. Hi, Diane. How are you, sweetheart? Good to see you.
I'm good, Uncle Henry. Hi.
A fist, Uncle Henry. Ming showed me how.
Yeah, that's nice.
Hello, Henry.
That's an icy greeting, Ike. Come on, what's wrong?
I'm not sure. Insurrection comes to mind.
That sounds serious.
Dad and I were just going over the guest list for Mom's memorial.
Well, sure. Your mother had a legion of friends.
Well, Dad hoped it would be a family affair.
Family, it's just like a rubber band. The more it expands, the more it can hold. Who's coming?
Well, there's a teacher I would like to have present. He knew Mom for her interest in antiques.
And why not? Does this teacher catch your fancy, Diana?
Uncle Henry, rein in your imagination. Between Stouts Lodge and work, I'm completely maxed out. It's a magnet school where I work.
I can invite Ming. He's my teacher.
Well, I'm sniffing the wind here. Is there something controversial?
Look here. I have deep grief in my heart that Susie is no longer with us. You are family. The bonds are as close as breathing.
Nice to know that.
Do we really want to bring strangers in to celebrate this memorial with us? Over my dead body. This is not an event for the public. Father Bartholomew is an exception. He will solemnize the occasion.
Mother never really cared for Father Bartholomew.
What? She didn't?
Said he smelled like smoke and talked like he had potatoes in his mouth.
Well, who's perfect?
Well, who's to say who should and shouldn't come? Isn't there a passage in the Bible that says, entertain a stranger? It could be an angel in disguise?
Angels unawares, I think is the expression.
That hits the nail on the head.
I can invite Ming. I know he's an angel.
Over my dead body.
This Ming guy. Look at their clap that is the God and secret.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Pratt.
Roxy, I've been meaning to talk to you about this old clock.
Don't tell time anymore.
Well, you have to wind it up. There's a key hanging up there on the right, but don't bother. I'm thinking it's ready for the dump.
What? Diana told me it's a family heirloom.
Well, that's not useful anymore.
Diana told me that Miss Susie Craddock brought it back from Germany with her own two hands.
Well, yes, we found it in a barn in Bavaria. Susie loved the wood. I think it's oak, and it's got those Roman numbers, but you can't live forever in the past, Roxy.
What do you think your wife would say if she saw you throwing it in the dump?
She's gone, Roxy.
She'd be horrified. A man is supposed to preserve what his wife cherishes. I learned that in a course in etiquette. And doesn't say nothing about throwing away old clocks. I have one heirloom. This ring on my finger. My grandfather gave it to me. The only man I ever came to trust. Give it to me on my 16th birthday.
Yeah. Well, you're pulling at my heartstrings, Roxy. I got to keep my guard up, you know. There's no telling who's out there waiting to take advantage of you.
Pulling on his heartstrings. Don't I wish?
Dad, have you seen Willem?
I think he's out in the barn showing Uncle Henry his latest inventions.
I'm worried about Roxy. I put together the menu for tomorrow's dinner just the way you wanted it, but she says it's a little bit more difficult than she's ready for, plucking the game birds and all. Do you think we could take game birds off the menu?
She may not be as confident in herself as I thought.
Well, I think she'd be fine with chicken.
Chicken cacciatore. That was a favorite of your mother's.
Oh, good. I know she can find that recipe. Dad? I was tidying up your study yesterday, and I came across these papers stamped top secret. What was it that you did at Bremerton that was so top secret?
It was normal work, not the kind of work to be talked about.
What did you do?
Ballistics, they call it. Most people think Bremerton's all about rifles and shotguns for hunting. But now that I'm retired and all those documents have been declassified, I can say that I developed field artillery, howitzers, mortars,
Developed
bazookas, so forth.
them to do what?
War is not pretty, Diana. We use dummies to measure the amount of damage that different ordnance could achieve. Scattershot, explosion on contact, rapid fire. I was responsible for the research.
Did you ever think about all the people that you'd be injuring? The victims?
You can't break it down like that, Diana. In war, shooting people is no different than shooting rabbits, and we don't call them victims.
But they would be.
Combatants. We were out to destroy combatants.
I'm thinking about all those people injured, filling up the hospitals, amputations, loss of hearing, loss of sight, and what do you call it? Post-traumatic stress disease. Think about what that does to a person's mind, Dad.
Don't go there, Diana. I give to the Red Cross every chance I get. You see, this world is a very precarious place. Our ancestors, they fought for our freedom. Abe Lincoln, he recognized that this country, founded on the will of the people, was a fragile experiment. Read your history. Now, the United States of America needs to be defended.
Dad, but I don't think that that's necessary for a...
But nothing. If there's not bayonets in the trenches anymore, it's who's got the biggest artillery, the most effective deterrent.
Dad, you're lecturing. I'm not a room full of ballistic specialists.
Yeah, that Willem. He's got a head on his shoulder like an Einstein. Talked my head off about electricity and circuits and breakers and God knows what else.
You see him at his best, Henry. Sometimes he wanders around like he's lost his head. I worry about him. What kind of a future can he look forward to? All the doctors say his intelligence, his abilities are compromised. Doctor, 2 weeks ago, reduced his medication for anxiety relief. Doctor before that...
Dad, you
did
make
some
it sound
research.
like doctor is another word for God.
Diana has a point.
I don't want to treat Willem like some cookie-cutter patient. He's got just as many warts as the rest of us. Just as many hopes and dreams and pride. Pride, so easily sabotaged.
If you knew, Diana, what your mother and I have been through.
Dad, I do know. I know that you and Mom brought Willem through pitch dark days. But now, out here in the country, he's finally becoming sensible. Finding interest in silly electrical gadgets. Ming over at Miss Parsons has been teaching him. Look, I'm gonna pick some more flowers for the memorial. Let's see if we can keep our family life on the track.
Well, that's been my story around here, too. Looking for some purpose. People like to say, when will Henry get a real job? Well, what's a real job, huh? Is that the end of all existence?
You know, you get a wife and kids, you stop asking those questions.
You ace me out on that score, Ike.
What score?
I guess no one ever told you, big brother, I was smitten by Susie for many years before you came along. Playmates we was. On the school swings, climbing the jungle gym. We used to hide right there in the barn to spy on the adults. Felt like we'd always be together. till you arrived.
Well, we grew up. You can't rewind history. Did you ever tell her how you felt?
Didn't have to. It felt like destiny was on our side.
Destiny.
We sat together for lunch. We shared sandwiches. We played Red Rover, Red Rover. She was the most fun to catch. She could wiggle around like a worm. Felt like magnets were holding us together.
Playmates you were, Henry. Wet behind the ears. The teen years are a whole different ball of wax, you know. The intrigue, who likes who, who's taking who to the prom. Dances. That's where Susie made her mark. I can see her now twirling across the floor like a top. Sure caught my eye, she did.
I couldn't keep up with her with my 2 right feet. One day she laughed me off the dance floor. She called me an awkward oaf. Oh, I felt betrayed. Felt like all the fun days went down the drain.
Well, you didn't have to take it so hard, Henry. Is that why you went on that religion binge? Fill your head with God talk? And then you joined the monastery? We had to make appointments to see you. I wanted you to be my best man.
That would have rubbed salt in the wound.
Well, it was your choice, Henry. That God business had you on cloud 9.
That's where I've been ever since, at least in your eyes. Traveling the world, writing stories. I could wallpaper my room with all the rejection slips. All the while, standing aside while you threaded your way to the top of the industrial class. Titan of industry, Remington first for defense.
Don't mock me, Henry.
It's no fun being broke, Ike. I'm here to claim my inheritance.
You see your share in this property as your inheritance money?
That's what it says in Dad's will. Where else would I find my inheritance? And furthermore, hunting's your thing, Ike. All for the sacred life of guns. Let me tell you something, Mike. There's nothing sacred about guns. And there's nothing sacred about hunting lodges. Why should I be interested?
For 100 years, this land has been in the family. Granddad founded Stout's Lodge, named it after his wife's family name. Susie and I dreamed of caring for the place after I retired, leaving the rat race, finding our peace out here, growing old together. What was I working for all those years?
You can buy me out.
What about Diana and Willem? It'll be theirs someday.
I gotta think of myself, Ike.
Don't you make a lot of money with your writing? How about that article in the Sunday Times, Floating the Nile? Didn't they pay you well for that? Do you need the money?
It doesn't matter, Ike. Sharon will put us on equal footing. But let's not talk about it on this occasion. I'm gonna go look for Willem. He wants to show me an experiment he's working on. You know, that kid appreciates my interest. And you should appreciate him.
Hey, Dad. Roxy's cutting some calla lilies that she found down at the river. Mom's favorite.
She found the water, did she?
Yes. She had her feet in there yesterday. She said it was the best massage money could buy.
On our time, she's getting a massage.
Oh.
Hello, Mr. Craddock. Aren't they beautiful? Diana said they were your wife's absolute favorite.
They were. They sure were. Every year she waited for them to bloom.
I will find just the right vase. That's the way my last employer said it. Vase. And we'll put it in the parlor. I've made some iced tea. Would you like some?
That would be fine, Roxy. Diana, I can't take this much longer. Roxy is taking over this house. Go out of the kitchen there. She's got all her silverware laid out. She's polishing it up like it's the Queen's jewels. And then she's got my musket down. My musket. She's polishing the barrel.
It looks very
How
nice.
does she know it's not loaded?
So shiny. Look, Dad.
And then she's showing Willem how to cook scrambled eggs. Are we paying her to do that?
It doesn't hurt to teach Willem something practical.
And yesterday she was helping Bernardo fix a wobbly chair. What's next?
She just wants to make improvements around here, Dad.
Roxy, do you think you could do less work around here?
You mean work part-time?
I mean, just do what you agreed to do. Prepare the food, straighten the lodge, serve the meals.
Well, that's hard, Mr. Craddock. When I see things that need fixing, I just gravitate over them. It's kind of like how I'm made, like fix-it gene. I'm not asking you to pay me anything extra. It's just hard to watch when the foundation of that deck out there sinking under my feet. You don't want anybody to break a leg.
We hired you to be the cook. Bernardo takes care of the grounds. We pay Bernardo to do this work. We fix things around here as money is available. This deck just received new paint. You see, that's what I...
You've hurt her feelings.
Well, I'm so sorry. I didn't know we hired a trembling leaf. Can't you take any criticism?
Let me talk to her, Dad.
Last night, I woke up, I saw the beam of a flashlight under my door. So I opened the door and I see this flashlight working its way down the hall. Roxy, I say, not knowing who it was in the dark. Oh, there's a mouse running about, she says. You mean you've never seen a mouse before? I asked her. Oh, I'm so sorry. I won't let it happen again. But it will happen, Diana. We need to let her go.
Let her go? Dad, she's only just started. Look, I'll talk to her. Get her to focus on the job. She's nervous, Dad. She just wants to make good.
I've seen this kind before. They wait until they get the upper hand, and then they provoke controversy. Roxy is taking over the house. Pretty soon she'll be friends with Ms. Parsons, and you know the rumors that she can spread.
Oh, Dad.
It's not working, Diana. Tell her after the memorial, we will no longer need her services.
But I need her. If you send Roxy, you send me.
There you go. Stubborn as a mule.
Really, Mother? That is impossible.
He was always fascinated with cyclones.
Cyclones?
Yes, cyclonic thinking. It's a disease older men get, successful men once they retire. They think their life has been trashed, and they act without considering the consequences. They think the sky is falling.
Are you making up this cyclonic stuff?
They feel the world has been blown away by a cyclone, and they become very irrational. Your father is only a recent example, believe me. Cyclonic thinking. It can happen to women too, especially those that break through the glass ceiling.
I can't wait to read all about it in some medical journal. Mother, he wants me to fire Roxy. I don't want to run Stout's Lodge anymore. What can I do? If it was up to Uncle Henry, he'd sell the place. I heard him talking to Dad. Dad said, "Over my dead body."
It's our payback for being born into privilege. Privilege is a national disease brought on by those early pilgrims, pushing and shoving their way into the land of the first Americans.
Mother, think of me. How did you handle him when he gets this way?
Oh, your father has a good heart underneath all that bravado. He just doesn't think it all through. Stick to your teaching, Diana. You have no idea how you're affecting those young lives every day. You're making such a difference. But if you want to think big, go into politics.
Politics? To take the tangled web of everyone's hopes and forge them into a body of opinion which uplifts the people? I'd rather climb Mount Everest. I just want to unload my responsibilities around here. Roxy was supposed to be the answer, and now I have to fire her.
Roxy, do you think I'm strange?
No, I think you're different.
How am I different?
Well, you're not the run-of-the-mill kind of Jack.
I want to be more confident.
Would you like me to help you be more confident?
Sure.
All right. Well, let's start with standing tall. No slump. So, that's it. Stand as tall as you can. That's it. Now, look in my eyes and tell me what you see.
I see your blue eyes.
Are you comfortable looking in my eyes?
A little. I could be with more practice.
All right. I think we can practice that.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Willem, do you think you could go out to the barn and have Bernardo bring me some more calla lilies?
Sure.
Diana, we have a problem in the kitchen.
What is it, Roxy?
A mouse. Last night, it was chewing its way into the cornmeal. It was in the pantry, chewing its way into the cornmeal. So, I shooed it out, and I followed it down the hall in the middle of the night to its wee little hole. And I said, all right, I'm going to get you. So I got myself a shoebox, and I cut a little hole in the side. And then I put in a piece of stinky cheese, and I waited. Pretty soon, that mouse was in the box. So I plugged up the hole with some steel wool. And there I had that rascal caught. And this morning, he got a free ride out across the stream and into the forest, where he can build a new home, and he won't be bothering Mr. Craddock no more. No more.
Hello, Willem. We've just been hearing Roxy's story of catching a mouse.
I hear him in the walls. Roxy's been teaching me how to talk.
I thought you knew how to talk, son.
Like to talk to another person. Look them in the eye. Straight in the eye. She says it's good to look another person in the eye to communicate. Like right here, Dad. I straighten my shoulders, stand as tall as I can, and tell you I'm having a good day helping Bernardo and learning from Roxy. I think it's called educating myself.
Roxy may not be here.
Then, Dad, look at me and tell me about your day. Are you excited about Mom's special day?
Willem, where did you...
But, Dad, see me? See my eyes? Roxy showed me how.
I see you, Willem. I'm glad you're learning something new. This will help you in the future.
And Roxy's gonna be my coach.
Willem, Roxy is only temporary. Roxy, you've filled our lives with good stories. And Diana may have told you. We will need you for the memorial dinner, but after that it would serve us
Oh,
best.
after that, we would like to have you do a radio show. You could tell your stories as only you can. I think you could entertain an audience like, who is it? Garrison Keeler, Lily Tomlin, something like that.
No. Diana, there's too much to do around here. Now, you asked me first thing about my experience caring for the elderly. And I'm just getting the hang of it. Stick to your specialities. That's what I learned in the hospitality class.
Roxy is a good teacher.
Hello, Mr. Craddock and Diana. You said I should contact your father about fixing these outdoor lights.
Yes.
Said that they were not operating.
That's true, Ming.
They are downright dangerous at night.
There needs to be a foot, 12 inches clearance above the dirt. That is very important if you ever want to service the place. You don't want any wood rock or termites. I have done that kind of work before. Jack up the buildings and give them a good foundation.
Appreciate your interest, Ming, but at the moment we're in the middle of some negotiations.
No need to hurry.
Mr. Ming, if you start to fix things around here, can I help you?
I always have another hand.
Yeah, looks like you got a good teacher there, Mr.
Ming Ling.
Ming. Well, ring-a-ding-ding, Ming. You just call me Henry.
Oh, did we? You put a pair. Oh,
Yeah. You put up here. Yes, I would have put it up here. Yeah.
Oh, you put a pair of pliers in my hands,
Yeah.
and I'll be ready to help you.
That's a little wonderful. That's a little wonderful. Yeah. And also, and then we have these young people, they always think they know it all. That's the ones. Ask a question and then learn, like we're in here.
Looks like you got a couple of good relief pitchers in the bullpen here, Eichster.
Mr. Ming, I've got some solar lights. I like to show you. They work with a sensor. Last night, 3 rabbits came hopping along, and the lights, they came on, and the rabbits, they ran fast as lightning into the forest. I showed the lights to Roxy, and I scared her good, didn't I, Roxy?
Now, don't go telling stories on me, young man. You're gonna get me fired.
Not while I'm here. Something else, Mr. Ming. I can look you right in your eye. Roxy's my teacher.
We need that kind of a contact, eye to eye, understanding one another. Yes, we do. Can you imagine what it would be like if the presidents of these big nations sat down and talk about what it was like when they were children? Talk about their mothers, the game they play. Just lay it all out there. Joys and the sad moments too.
Sad. It's hard to be sad.
Instead, our leaders puff themselves up in big buildings, sign important papers. They forget they were the kids once. Forget that everyone is, once and only precious on this earth. We got to tie the circuits back together again, connect the wires.
Ming, Willem is so lucky that you took him under his wing. Roxy, you have done so much for all of us.
Roxy is a good teacher.
Seems we have 2 teachers here under one roof.
And 2 teachers are better than 1.
Roxy, it is evident that you have made a notable impression around here. You are what we in the armaments industry would call a change agent.
So, I get a new name? Change agent. Change agent. It's good. Change agent. I like it.
Diana, do you suppose we could extend Roxy's contract? Like those ball players, you get an annual extension. Think we could strike a deal?
Well, that does take a lot of negotiations to write those contracts, you know. You gotta sit down and talk about health benefits, salary, days off, insurance. But I do think that we should create a special clause just for Roxy, giving her free rein to make improvements where she sees necessary.
1, 2, 3 teachers here at Stouts Lodge. I guess we could give it a shot.
Oh,
Okay to me.
God, the sun is shining on us today. We welcome you, Roxy, change agent of Stouts Lodge.
Well, like my father used to say, move the luggage. Have Bernardo bring me 2 caged-free chickens this afternoon, and we'll have chicken cacciatore cooked up in a jiffy. And Ming, there'll be a seat for you too.
Thank you all for coming. You really bolstered everybody up. I know you were few in numbers, but I could really sense your attention, and thank you so much.